It was just a regular Friday evening. I had wrapped up work early, craving a quiet night in with some pizza and a movie. My wife, Eliza, was upstairs, probably soaking the tub as she often did after a long week. I didn't want to disturb her, so I opened her laptop to order our favorite, extra cheese with mushrooms and olives. The screen flickered to life. It wasn't password protected, which wasn't unusual. But what was unusual was that it didn't open to a browser or the usual cluttered desktop. It was already open to a folder titled, Forever Begins. Curious, I clicked. Inside were dozens of neatly organized images and PDFs. At first glance, it looked like a wedding planning folder. Until I noticed the photos. There she was, Eliza, in a white lace wedding gown. But the man next to her, smiling with a confidence I'd never seen before, was me. They weren't just planning something. The pictures told a different story. They were already married. My stomach clenched. My hands turned cold. I scrolled endlessly. Engagement photos, floral arrangements, venue contracts. Everything dated within the last 6 months. While I was taking her on surprise weekend trips and building a new patio in our backyard, she was building a future with someone else. I should have screamed. I should have broken something. I should have stormed upstairs and demanded answers. But I didn't. I closed the laptop quietly and leaned back in the chair, heart pounding, mind racing. There had to be a reason. Maybe it was a mistake. Maybe it was old photos. But deep down, I knew the truth. This was a fantasy or a backup plan. She had built a whole other life, a secret life, and I needed to know why. Over the next week, I didn't confront her. I smiled, cooked dinner, even kissed her goodnight. But every moment was laced with quiet fury and sadness. I began piecing the timeline together, slowly and methodically. The man in the photos? His name was Grant. I found emails, private messages, and calendar entries. Turns out, she met him at a corporate retreat last year in Aspen. They had been in touch since, and what started as a flirtation turned into something else. Something dangerous. Something permanent. I even found out when the wedding was set to happen. Saturday, 2 days away. It was supposed to be a small, intimate ceremony, destination style. Her excuse for being out of town was a spa getaway with her cousin. How poetic. So I made a decision. I didn't want a confrontation. I wanted closure. And I wanted the truth to shatter not just quietly, but thunderously. I drove to her mother's house the next day and handed her a wrapped gift, a rare bottle of Chanel No. 5, her favorite. She hugged me, unaware, thinking I was just being sweet. Then I booked a flight. Saturday. The venue was a beautiful oceanside villa 3 states over. It wasn't hard to get the address. I even found the seating chart. She had completely removed me from her world. But I wasn't going to stay erased. I walked into the venue as the music was playing softly in the background. No one noticed me at first. I was dressed sharp, tailored suit, holding a slim briefcase. I spotted her mother, who turned in surprise when she saw me. "Daniel? What are you?" I gave her a calm smile. Couldn't miss Eliza's big day. She looked horrified. She hadn't known. That's when I stepped forward, past the petals lining the aisle, just as Eliza and Grant stood before the officiant. The guests turned slowly, whispers trailing behind me like fire. Eliza's eyes locked onto mine and widened. She opened her mouth to speak, but I raised a hand. "I'm not here to ruin anything," I said, voice clear. "I'm just here to return something that belongs to the bride." I walked forward and handed the officiant the briefcase. "Inside," I said, "you'll find a copy of our marriage certificate, filed, notarized, and still legally binding, along with photos of Eliza and I from the last 6 months, including one from our anniversary trip in Paris. Oh, and screenshots of her messages with Grant, explicit ones." Eliza went pale. Grant stepped back as if I'd slapped him. I looked around. I just figured, if you're going to build a life on lies, it's only fair your foundation hears the truth. Gasps echoed through the hall. Eliza's mother looked like she would faint. I turned, ready to leave, but paused. "By the way, Eliza," I said, glancing over my shoulder, "thanks for making this easy. The divorce papers are signed." You'll be served by Monday. As for the house, it's in my name. Pack your things when you get back." Then I walked out, the sea breeze greeting me like freedom. 2 months later, I moved to a new city, started a new job. Therapy helped. So, did time. I won't pretend the betrayal didn't leave scars. But I survived. And now, I'm building something real with someone who actually shows up for me. Eliza, I heard Grant left her a week after the wedding fallout. Her reputation tanked. And last I heard, she moved back in with her mother. Sometimes, revenge doesn't come through shouting or screaming. Sometimes it comes in silence, with a smile, and a truth that leaves the entire room breathless.